How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to Shadowrun Dragonfall with me, Noble. Now, as you can tell, I've adjusted my sounds, as I've talked about in a couple of the other videos. I had some weird sound hiccups. I'm not sure even how long it's been going on, and I very much apologize for any over-booming sounds I got to turn down, you know, mic warning kind of deal. I'm very sorry about that. It was one of those things that even when I was listening to it on my headset, I couldn't tell that the sound was up so high. It was more of an audio problem with my headset than it was an audio problem in OBS, so, you know. As you can tell, I also have a new headset on because the old headset's broken. Go figure. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back into the story here. Went ahead and talked to the rest of the crew. It was kind of just background chatter, so it wasn't anything really important. Though I did put the big troll lady on point for yelling at me. Asmil's expression is harder than you have seen it before. When he speaks, his voice is grim. Edgar told me about the Green Winter's death. She said that he died the same manner that Monica did. That is true. It wasn't a pretty sight. I know that you and Edgar have had differences. I'll tell you, she's badly shaken by the sight of Winter's body. Yeah. She also mentioned that you found something in Winter's safe, a package full of old discs. May I see them? Nah, it's all porn. You shouldn't see that. Gingerly, Asmil lifts the disc from the bundle and holds it up to the light. Slowly, he begins to turn it in his hand, causing a rainbow of patterns to shimmer across the surface. He hasn't seen one of these, or I haven't seen one of these since I was a boy. This is a DVD RW, a data storage medium from the mid-2000s. I'm amazed that Winters was able to find a device that could play it. You have anything that reads it? Looks down the DVD and hands over quickly and inspects the other. The first disc I looked at might be readable. The others are damaged, some badly so. I have my doubts about them. For now, let's concentrate on undamaged disc. There's a little shop outside Data Heaven. That's where I go. That's where I dropped off the robot and did all the other stuff. So we know where that is. Talked to the proprietor, Milt Holdenby. Man, this game giving me all these names that are complicated as shit. I want to call you Paul, and you said you want to be called Asmil. I mean, come on, dude. Paul is easy enough. She might be able to help. Tell her to put the cost of the device on my account. I'm on it. You gotta think, it's about like trying to find an 8-track player these days, you know? And some of you are probably like, what's an 8-track player? You know? You have an easier time finding an old disc player. Come on. I'm going to hold off on buying, because I went back, before I started recording this, when I was doing the sound checks, I went back to the AUG place to see if I was wanting to buy one of the augments, and some of them look very nice, you know, enhanced health arms and advanced armor plating, and I'm like, ooh, these all sound so cool, and then I'm like, you know what, this is early game. I mean, just like how I looked at the guns, and my AK, you know, it's not that good. But the other guns are only 1 point better. Why am I going to waste the money on that? Now, the grenade launcher sounds pretty good. I wanted it, but I'm not taking it because of obvious reasons. Though I have considered getting rid of my AK for the grenade launcher, but something to play DVD. Let's ask about the drone first. These things take time. I'm making progress, though. Give me a little more. So it probably means the next mission. Really? That's old tech. Very old. In fact, just a moment. I'll go look. She rummages through the bin of obsolete components in the back of the stall. Ah, yes, here we are. Dwarf wrestles a mid-sized flat-screen display out of the bin. When your flat-screen TV is considered old tech, that's when you feel old, you know? This display has an old enough hookups to connect to DVD player, RCA to, you know, vintage. The player itself, though, That's, I do not have. You may want to try your luck down at the junkyard. There's a scavenger there. A primitive man with a crude disposition. Primitive. It's like a caveman sitting there working on DVD players. It's like, trust me, dude. Everything's old as shit around here. If anyone here at the Kazu Bazaar, I keep saying Kazu Bar, can help you find your DVD player, he can. But it'll almost certainly attempt to overcharge you for it. Good to know. She takes a deep breath and smiles at you. But you're here for the gossip. Shall we conclude our business? I'll give you the display for, let's say, 200. Charge his account. Very well. I will have it picked up and delivered to Asmiel right away. He's right there. I mean, why do you have it picked up and delivered? You could literally walk away from your stall for 2 minutes, stick it on the front door, ring the doorbell, they'll pick it up and be done with it, you know? And that's if you walk slow. Let's see. Best of luck finding a DVD player. Good luck. Alright. I have figured out, you can't see it underneath my icon, but there's a yellow triangle that's on this little cursor. Give me a second, I'll actually move. Okay. I'll only do it for a second, because, you know, it'll get annoying otherwise. But you see that little yellow marker right here? That's actually like a map marker, north, south, east, west, telling you where to go. I didn't realize that beforehand, so now that I know where to look, I'll be able to find some objectives a little quicker. There we go. So, if I follow this, you know, that would have helped out a lot when I was like trying to find those little junction boxes. I bet you it was showing all 3 locations there, you know. Oh, you're the man I'm looking for. Scotchy! Scotch, 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 scotch. Oh, man. My good sir, I hear bird is a word. Yeah, you look like a man who knows his way around some scotch. Well, a stout old man looks up from whatever old techie's tinkering with. You squat at your you squint. Bleh, that's it. Squat. You squint at the thought through thick old-fashioned glasses. He pushes them up with an oil-stained finger. As he straightens up, you nod at you. Man, my words are broken today. He speaks with a gruff but well-meaning tone. Heavily accented in German tonally. Ah, guten Tag. What can I do for you? Let's see. Don't worry about me. I'm doing just fine. Okay. That little shrew sent you my way, huh? Scotchy's smile broadens. Well, wonders never cease. Well, introductions are in order, I suppose. Scotchy, Bunch One, at your service. I can tell why people call you Scotchy instead of Bunchman. I should just called you Junkman. Need something salvaged? Something old components? Innocent? I indeed your man, yeah. Wonderful. How about a DVD player? Well, let's see. I think I got something here that'll work for you. Scavenger, he rummages through the junk, heaped up on the table behind him. A few seconds later, he snatches a battered plastic lungsy shaped from the pile. Ah, here we go. It is an old Kurgan player that I dug up last week. A 2010 model. A real beauty. Scotchy's smile broadens, and he gives you a conspiratorial wink. I fixed it up. Yeah. You're going to earn, but without any discs to read. I've mostly been using it as a paperweight, yeah. Oh, it's very good plastic. How much do you want for it? Scotchy glances back at the DVD player, a refuel expression on his face. Well, I admit, I'm a little loath to part with her. Because it's an amazing paperweight. That's why you're trying to have a hard time parting with it. Right? There are plenty of folks out there who really appreciate the old player such as this. Like who? Because you've literally been using it as a paperweight and no one's been looking for it. Until now.
And I don't know what your intentions are for it.
Well, I was thinking about going skeet shooting this weekend, so I thought, I'd load it in a catapult, fire it up in the air, and blast it out of the sky. Sound about right for you, Mr. Scotchy? I'm going to destroy some ancient tech.
I suppose, given the time and trouble, and to look at putting back together, that I'd be willing to part with, say...
Scott eyes over your gear and calculate expression on his face.
About 500 neuron.
I could buy a new Trivid player for that.
Yeah, but you can't get one of those anywhere.
Or you can get one of those, I mean.
You ain't going to find another one of these anytime soon.
Which is why you're having such an easy time with it, huh?
But it's not like, I get offers to buy it these days, so I'll cut you a deal. How about $350?
Yeah, too bad my charisma's not higher. I'm gonna walk away and see if he'll reduce it again. The man pauses for a moment, considering.
I'll tell you what. A few months ago, I had call it a difference of opinion with a Bazagi fellow from the soy calf shop.
Oh, great.
He hasn't let me in an establishment since. I sell the family farm for a decent cup of coffee. You get me a cup of Turkish coffee, the real stuff, not that fake junk, and I'll give you the DVD player. Sound like a deal?
This man is a connoisseur of coffee, and he's selling junk, old, used junk, out of a trash can. Proprietor of excellent materials. You can tell right now, right? That's right, I did pick up a coffee, didn't I?
Ah, thank you.
It's cold coffee. You did say it had to be hot coffee. It's cold coffee, but it is coffee. Scotchy gracefully accepts the coffee and snaps the lid back and inhales deeply, wiggling his mustache as he pictures like a little field mouse, like, wiggling his mustache as he produces the scent.
Yep, that's the real stuff right there.
Scotchy generally picks up the ancient device from the table and passes it into your hands. The plastic is scuffed and worn, and it rattles a bit when you move it.
Give him some good use, you okay? Yeah, have a nice day. See you later.
Bye, Scotchy. Well, that coffee came in handy. And here I was wondering why it was a major item rather than a minor item, I thought it'd just be in the inventory, but nope. I guess it's supposed to come back here. Yeah, okay. It didn't give me an icon saying to come back to this location, so I was like, well, maybe I'm not supposed to come back yet. Alright, let's see what you got for me today, Mr. Proprietor of Business Materials. It seems that Asbill's assembled your team for the team in your absence, I mean. They stand in a group ahead of the old display that you delivered. On the other faces, you can see excitement and apprehension, curiosity and dread. I picture the only person who had the dread was probably the troll. Iron Tree, have you procured the DVD reader? Oh, hell yeah. Hand it over. Good. This should only take a moment, if I know how to hook up the wiring of an old piece of equipment. Mind you, he has seen this stuff before. Aswell disappears behind the ancient display. After a few minutes of fiddling with its battered inputs, he reappears, a satisfied look on his face. I put all the pluggy stuff in the holy stuff, and all of a sudden things start lighting up. Everything appears to be functional. The disc should be ready to play. Ah, well, don't keep us in suspense. Start the damn thing. I actually went more Irish than I intended. I'm hoping to make it more German. Iron Tree went to all the trouble of fetching everything. Let him do the honors. Successfully clearing a path at excess antique machine. Oh, there it is. Wow. It's an old setup. Or as we call it, modern. A soft whirring sound fears the ancient DVD player as it spins up the disc ahead. The scratched LCD display comes to life and a menu fills the screen. Well, I guess we're watching old home videos. The screen goes black for a cheerful dialogue. Charming sound spills out of the display speakers. A crackle of static fills the air, coupled with a shrill electronic whine. Man, you don't hear that these days. That's what happens when a proprietor of old technologies tries to deal with your equipment. After a few moments, the display goes live, and this disheveled-looking man appears on the screen. His eyes glitter with excitement. Timestamp is a lot of time ago. Alan Van Cleer. I'll just call him Val Kilmer. Okay, we'll just call him Adrian Val Kilmer. Hermione. Or Hermione. Let's go Hermione. Why not? I'm screwing everything else up, right? I think I found her. After all this time, Futterschwing, that's the dragon. I knew that she wasn't dead. Okay. Yeah, that was the name that the lady when she died was saying, the Futterschwing for the dragon. His speech is jittery. You can hear the urgency in his voice. She survived the Dragonfall. Just as I always said, I knew it would be. It was right. The screen explodes into static and electronic whine of the background. Sharpens into a needle-like pulse, high-pitched sound. Somewhere in the background, Dante lets out a howl whimper. Well, apparently we hit dog-level sounds. The screen clears, an excited face closer to the screen than it was before. The words spill out of him in a breathless tide. Taking the team into the socks to retrieve her. The radiation be damned. We're gonna take the appropriate precautions, of course, but we must go. Hermione, I think that the body may be nearby as well. Somehow, she has survived for all this time. Radioactive dragons, death claws. You know. Can you imagine? You know, you're going after this dragon. It's like, oh, that dragon's turned into a giant death claw. Oh shit. The screen explodes into static again, then clears. The figure thickens across the screen. May not be back for some time. Look after Mom, will you, okay? I worry about her. And Hermione, whatever. Stay safe out there. I know that things are heating up in Berlin, and I know you. Student protests, civil uprising. You'll be in the middle of it all, I'm sure. Just stay safe, all right? And I'll do my best to do the same. I don't know what's going on or going to happen when I step into the socks. I can't remember what socks is. It's like some special radiation quarantine zone, I think. I'm not positive on that. It's been a couple days since I recorded last, so I've kind of forgotten a little bit what socks were supposed to mean. But I do know one thing. If the Fighterwing is still in a danger, I will put an end to her, once and for all. How much you bet this guy turns out to be the villain at the end? And the dragon is like dead and he's manipulating it somehow. You know, he's become a necromancer. I don't know. We'll see. Display goes black in the background. Whine fades. A moment later, you find yourself disappointed back. Okay, so we're back to the title screen. The screen goes black for a moment and the figure appears on the screen. Your late client, Green Winters. His elbow is planted on the table as he's seated at his chin rests in his palm. The other hand is wrapped around a bottle of cheap whiskey. And timestamp is also time related. So, he's looking worse for wear. Found the message Adrian left me. Oh, you're the brother. Oh, you're Hermione. Gotcha. Okay. All those years ago. Got it cleaned up the best I could. Strange hearing his voice again. He pauses to take a long pull in the bottle. It's good to hear him. Even if he did insist on calling me Hermione. Do I look like a wizard to you? It's like, dagnabbit, you should have stayed off that Harry Potter. Dr. Adrian Van Cleer, the hero of the people, the Dragon Slayer, my brother. He grimaces and rubs his eyes. Hard to believe it's been almost 20 years. He ain't come home. Okay. And the dragon's apparently alive, so Did he fail? Did he join the dragon? We don't know. We'll see, I guess. Alright, so I'm going to start recording these DVDs again for me, for Adrian, whoever might end up watching them. Why'd you choose this medium? You could have just transferred the video you had recorded over to the new medium, which would have bypassed all this need that we had to go and get this equipment. I'm just saying. There's, you know, VHS tapes and DVD conversions already, so it's not like you couldn't have done that yourself. Every time I do this, it winds up feeling like a waste of time, which probably indicates all those other DVDs. But I keep doing it anyway, on the off chance that I find something important. Then again, maybe this medium actually prevents other people from finding it, you know, like, kind of like saving on the cloud. You don't know who else can hack in and look at your stuff. So if he's trying to do this in secret, I guess using old DVDs might be a better way of doing it. So you think you chose something in the middle between DVDs and the current tech, but whatever. If I stumble onto a clue that leads me to my brother, I know I'm going to find it, or going to want him, or want it on film. Bleh, man, I got so tongue-tied there. I've been doing this for almost 20 years now. After all, no sense of quitting now. You could quit a while ago. 20 years, all the time. And still no leads, even with all my contacts and all my resources. Even with my legendary bullheadedness, I've made no progress at all. I've turned a single thing. Oh, and also this is the part where it says it takes a swallow of his liquor. Want to hear something funny? The closest I got to a clue was a rumor. Apparently a team emerged from the Sox a while back. Nobody's clear on the date, but get this. He leans towards the camera and gives a conspicuous wink. Or, I guess it'd be like, supposedly, they all vanished without a trace. So I guess that means the team that came back vanished without a trace. Meaning, no one goes in and comes back alive, but the group that did come back alive still disappeared afterwards. So, probably cover-up stuff. He upends the bottle and drains it. Slams the bottle down into the table, his eyes rimmed with red. Not much of a rumor, considering I already know that you're gone, big brother. I live with that every day. Leans to something on the screen. Display goes black. Okay, so he turned it off. The grinding DVD player. Green Winter's image appears on the screen. This time, an eager look on his face. Stumble upon archival footage. The Footswing's original attack, months before Dragonfall. Easy to forget how devastating it was. Adrian saved a lot of people by bringing her down. That makes me want to watch that. What was that movie? The Dragon Hunter movie. The oh shoot, what was it? Oh man, I'll figure it out later. I'll be like in the next video. I'll probably be like, it was this. It was a pretty cool movie about a post-apocalyptic dragon war kind of thing. Anyway, devastating as it was, Adrian saved a lot of people by bringing her. Okay, I've got footage all queued up on display. Starting now. Additional comments to follow. Slow word, blah blah blah. Okay. Wow, this is a horrible angle for recording. You thought it would be like a full screen, you know, actual like news, you know. Hi, I'm here with Citizen X, reporting live from Dragonfall Central, you know, that kind of thing. But nope, no, it's just an over-camera view that we've gotten throughout the entire game. It's difficult to make out what you're seeing the first time on the screen, as the dark, smoky, telltale flashes of emergency vehicle lights flicker in the periphery of the screen. The camera pushes in, you can make out two figures standing in ruined landscape. All at once, the sound cuts in. Hi! Again, for those who are just joining us, we're coming live from Stolberg. A few hours ago, the Dragon Brushwing launched an unprovoked attack against its sleepy Hans mountain town. And, you can see the results behind me. Fire, ashes, and blood! Ha ha! I'm really sad, but you can't tell. We are joined tonight by a survivor of this latest and most horrifying attack. The reporter turns his face, a pale man standing behind him. Sir, I understand that you've been through a terrible ordeal. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us tonight.
I'm really sad. Yes, of course.
As the camera focuses on the middle-aged man, a haunted look in his eyes, he stammers out repeatedly. Got time? Little frog in my throat there for a second. Sorry. For all these voices I'm doing.
If you could, sir, could you please tell the people at home what your experience was in the attack?
It was horrible. Just pure chaos. So many people are dead. People I knew, roasted alive, and trampled to death trying to escape.
Probably by each other, not the dragon, but yeah.
My own house was burned to the ground during the attack. My family. We have nothing now.
Ah, yes, this must have been your camper here. Man, it really sucks, doesn't it?
That's really mean.
Sorry, sir. Continue. You all made it through the attack, though. Your wife and your kids?
Yeah, we made it. Thank God. We rode out the attack in a small shelter. My wife and our 2 daughters. The shelters protected us, but the heat was unbearable. We couldn't...
I guess it's like getting directly napalmed on the outside of a bomb shelter.
But the heat was just unbearable. We couldn't have stayed in there much longer if we did.
Like oven-baked potatoes, you know?
How long were you held up in there?
About 35 seconds.
My God, that was a long time.
3, maybe 4 hours? I don't know. We just stayed inside until the heat died down, and then the screaming stopped. Not particularly in that order.
And what happened after that?
When it was all over, you know? When the air cooled down.
The reporter nods as the man continues.
We stepped outside.
Wow, thrilling tales from Survival Man.
There was nothing left, just smoldering wreckage and a dense cloud of black oily smoke. And the stench of air. Oh God, that smell. It smelled like roasting meat. I'm so hungry.
Wow, you cannibal.
There's a long pause from the tortured look on the man's face. You could tell that he's struggling to decide whether or not to continue speaking. Eventually he does.
My girls, they found what was left of their nanny outside, her body. What was left of it was slumped against the shelter door. I kept telling myself,
oh no, I know what's about to happen here.
Kept telling myself that I couldn't hear her pounding on to get in. But that wasn't true. I could.
That really is one of those moral dilemmas. Do you open up the door and risk the dragon roasting everybody in the shelter? Or do you keep the door shut and just hope that it just kills her? Then again, if you open the door, you could have let her in. Because apparently if she was pounding for a minute, then she may have had a chance to get in. Who knows? It's one of those kind of what if and, you know, situational guilt you got to live with afterwards.
I just couldn't bring myself to open the door. I couldn't risk my family like that. Not for her. Not for anyone.
Thank you, sir, for taking the time to speak with us. I'm Chet, you betcha.
What was that from? Ah, I think that's Fairly Odd Parents, that name. For the news anchor.
Yeah, bye.
You heard it here. Absolutely chilling account of tonight's attack. Again, with the town of Stoltenberg has been reduced to ash. Another victim of Firewing. Tune in next week to find out who else has died. If your town is in the destruction ring, good luck and stay safe out there. Stay with us for more up-to-the-minute reporting on First Wing's Reign of Terror. Ha ha! I'm gonna go cry now.
Green Winter's face reappears on the screen. Okay, it's time for a new approach. Adrian's a complete dead end. That much is pretty clear now. So I'm gonna do some digging on Fushwing instead. Let's see where this goes. Well, apparently you die, so it doesn't go very far. The screen abruptly goes black and the video cuts off. Okay, back to the menu. It's taking a lot longer than I thought. I thought we'd have this all taken care of in like 2 minutes. He ramps up the speed, blah blah blah, timestamps. Well, that's bullshit. Little progress on Fushwing either. He shakes his head. I don't know. It's weird. The information is there. It's just wrong, somehow. It's all too well laid out. Too simple. Real life is messy. These things just a little too neat. And it's very true. I've heard it many times over, and you can see it. All you got to do is turn on the news and see it. If you go to a movie and somebody has this crazy, mind-blowing, I shall destroy the world kind of plan, they got to lay it out, and you got to go, okay, that makes sense. That's the reason the villain wants to do this. In real life, the real life is messy. You know, why did the wife kill the husband? Well, because she thought he was cheating on her, but he wasn't. But she thought he was. Or, you know, the man, you know, stabs his neighbor because the dog wouldn't stop barking. That's a reference to a Dead State video where we came across that. If you haven't seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But, you know, and it's like, the reasons the dog was barking. Well, damn, you know, that's pretty crazy. You couldn't do that in a book or a movie. But real life is messy. There is no order to it. And what he's saying is, makes sense. If it's too orderly, if it's too laid out like it's planned, it's probably because it was planned. So it sounds like there's a cover-up here to kind of, you know, cover up the fall of the dragon. But
It's not the only thing that's nagging me. I got this tiny tingly feeling all up and down my back, my neck again. Feels like I'm being tracked.
Well, I mean, if you got like cerebral implants, it probably would be an indicator.
I'm no Matrix hotshot like Clockwork or Shellfair, but I'm good enough to know that someone's on my scent. Got to install some new security measures.
The people at the hotel were saying he kept changing his passwords and stuff.
Can't be too careful.
Alright, back to the menu. 5. Display goes black for a moment. Alright, spinning up again. Time. Oh man, he's changed a lot. That other picture, he looked, you know, a little bit more chubby cheeked, like as if he's lost a good bit of weight and he's not sleeping very well now. You know, he's probably not eating. He's probably just drinking out of that bottle. That's the only thing keeping him alive. You know.
All right, I'm getting too close to something.
I feel like he's out of breath.
The trail of bodies. They're out. There've been disappearances. Gearbox, Merkin, Peregrine. They're all disappeared. The past few days.
I'm just picturing like this, you know, this panic moving hands, you know, like I can't get my thoughts straight kind of thing, you know.
Within the past few years, Gearbox just went AWOL yesterday, and they were all making the same sorts of inquiries about Firewing that I've been. There's the ghost stories spreading around about the Decker community. Stories about Deckers disappearing and then showing up again later, but wrong. Somehow. Scary stuff. Starting to think about it. It's true.
Hey. Let's learn towards you to whisper. I know the stories they're talking about, Chief. Haven't really put much stock into them. Not until now.
Could these rumors have been what was happening here? Am I being paranoid?
He pauses for a moment as he suddenly questioning the question, then shakes his head and slams his fist on the table. Oh, that went too loud, sorry.
No. Dagnabbit. I don't think it's so. Something big is happening here. I'm right in the middle of it. Ah!
It's like the Titanic and I'm riding in the front row. Edgar cuts in. This bit is a bit of a leap here.
One other thing. Totally told me the story about a kill team that might have related to this all.
Are all related to this. Dyslexia, sorry.
Apparently a Decker name, Hellborn, passed the theory around a Fuderschwing to the Shadow BBS about 5 years ago. About an hour later, a mil-spec team showed up in Meat Space and cooked her entire apartment with her in it.
So I guess Meat Space is the real world out of the cyberspace. So that means that they pulled a scorched earth and decided to kill everybody in the entire building.
If what Tulsi told me is true, Hellborn lived post the events. She described her killer
as a great big orc with skin crafts. The guy with the minigun we ran into at the beginning of the game. Boom! Well, everything's coming in full circle again.
Then the whole thread disappeared, gone without a trace.
Leap Edgar, my love. Sounds like I'm doing the Irish thing. Leap Edgar, my love. Sounds like right on the track here. Edgar holds her silence, but concedes the point with a small nod.
Only
title screen, Winter appears to be holding what looks like working up to something. Finally he speaks. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This has got to be full of swing. All of it. Adrian was right about her. She's still alive, and she's out of the socks. She's covering her tracks, working in the shadows, preparing to rise again. And that means that I have to find Adrian, for everyone's sake. So, Adrian goes into this, I'm guessing, radioactive quarantine zone. Doesn't come back, or he does come back with the dragon. We find out that we go inside this underground super mansion, and it's super reinforced. We got the minigun guy protecting it and all that kind of stuff. I'm guessing that's the base of operation. That might be where the dragon is. Maybe some underground kind of Metal Gear holding, you know, for those who remember the old Metal Gear games, you know, the underground storage area where they kept Rex. Thankfully, I got a lead. For the first time in 2 decades, I got a solid lead. I backtraced all of the Matrix codes in Hellborn, looking into, but back before she got cooked. Whoever's been pulling the Matrix didn't think about that. And I found she turned up. Winter stabs a few keys on the keyboard, and an image explodes on the full screen of his monitor. Satellite photo of a rural landscape, mounted with GPS data, a set of map coordinates. So now I got a target, a place to start digging. The Hale-filled Manor, which is the manor we went to. I'm conveniently located on the isolated stretch of countryside, miles away from prying eyes. Maddox records indicate that some sort of a data vault exists beneath the estate. So that's what I need to get into. And here's where we come in. As if the cue of familiar image winks into the monitor to Winter's left Monica. I think I'm going to tap Shelfer for this job. She's got the skills to bypass whatever security they're running out there. But she's gullible enough to take the job first place. I'll feed her some line about flux state security, and she'll eat it up. I'll eat it up with a spoon. Man, I got a little tongue-tied again. I was getting tongue-tied all today. Even that was tongue-tied slightly. It's like I gotta record. I can't just not record, you know? I warned her. Angela's jokes choked in rage. I warned her. Once played, Winter's mouth parts into a broad grin. Time to put the plans into motion. But this time tomorrow night, I should have information that I need. And off the chance that Shelford gets taken out, well, I'll tell her me something too. Can't make much of an omelet without that. We were the eggs that got broken, is what he's getting at. Last one. Man, it's been a long recording session so far. When the 6th track, it starts up. There's a blur motion in the haggard form of Green Winter as lumbers into the frame. Suspicious confirmed. Schaefer's dead. Christ. Winter reaches for a shaking hand off camera. A moment later, it turns, clutching a cheap plastic drinking glass. He's downgraded, even cheaper wines. He gulps something down and wipes his mouth, back of his hand, deep breath. Okay. Back up, slow down, start from the beginning. Winters closes his eyes and makes a visible effort to calm himself when speaking again, his voice steady. Got a call from my contact in the Kazavar, Shelfer, killed on the estate run. Matzik's security at the estate cooked her brain. Or Matrix, I mean. Considering Schaefer's skill and experience on the site ice, must have been extreme, even by Berlin standards. Security of that kind costs money, real money. Given the evidence uncovered so far, corporate involvement unlikely. This voice is starting to get me a little scuffed. The connection, though, to a fire wing is too strong. So let's come right out and say it. The dragon is what you're dealing with here, and Smart Money says that she's coming for me next. And you were cooked, so I'd say you're probably right on the money as well. I won't go down without a fight, though. Well, you went down in a curled-up ball with a broken spine, so, I mean, I think you went down without a fight. I still got my contacts, still got my connections, and the Falk State can be a hell of a weapon for the man who knows how to manipulate it. Winters takes another long pull of the glass. As he swallows, time for me to make a play. Ghost stories or no, Disendeckers or no, I gotta jack into the Matrix and start pulling strings. The countermeasures that I installed earlier should be more than enough. It didn't do you jack shit. To keep me safe for 20 minutes, I'll be there. More like 20 seconds, you probably got fried. He drains the rest of his glass and tosses it back over his shoulder. A moment later, you hear the dull, clean sound of hard plastic and linoleum. I guess the sound of the bottle hitting, I guess. Sulphur's death was tragic. She put a staunch supporter of the F-State. But still, all things are considered. Winters finishes something off screen. A moment later, he reappears clutching a data jack cable. Better her than me. Ha ha ha! He plugs the cable into his head, basically his own death sentence. Eject the DVD. As your finger nears the eject button, the blank screen cuts over to static. A moment later, Green Winter's hanging face appears. Or haggard, not hanging. If you're watching this, then I guess they caught up to me. They'll be after you now. Blitz whispers into your ear again, more harshly this time. What the hell is this? What have you got me into? Why didn't you warn me about this beforehand? The Thrillium capacitors, Captain. I don't know. I know, Blitz. Not now, Blitz. Hey, everybody. Blitz is scared. We don't know. Not exactly. We'll go with that one. Not exactly. I didn't come here to get hunted by a dragon. I'm not even part of this. Welcome to the team, buddy. Hey. You know now, whether you like it or not, so quiet down and stop bothering him. Thank you, robot girlfriend. I always loved you the most. Whoever you are, whatever you think you are after, you need to find her, Dr. Adrian Valclear. Not because he's my brother, because Volschwing is rising again. He's the only one who can stop her. Dovahkiin, Dovahkiin, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. He is Dragonborn. You've seen what happens to people getting too close on this. I'm dead and dozens of others have died. You'll be next unless you find Adrian. Didn't you just say he was confirmed dead earlier? Screen cuts to static and the message is over. Okay. Woo! Well, I can talk to the dog or to the man. Everyone else is out of business, apparently. Look down to see bright eyes, scruffy dog. Gonna pet the pupper. Gotta put the love on the doggy. As the room gets quiet, everyone struggles to process what they've just seen on the DVD. Finally, Dietrich breaks the silence. A dragon, son of a bitch. Green Winter set us up again against the dragon. The Firschwing. Aswell's voice is thickened with dread. She lives. I am already starting to regret the fact that I didn't just stay at the hotel. You can go back. I'm gonna stop you. Edgar ignores him. Wait a second. We don't know for certain. Dietrich lays a hand on Edgar's shoulder. The evidence seemed pretty convincing to me, love. I'll even take a step further. I think the secret factory we stumbled onto was her lair. That's the same thing I said earlier. I said, I bet you that underground, because, I mean, we went underground, and it's like some massive Metal Gear hidden facility under there, you know, where we fought the minigun guy. And I was thinking that same thing. I'm like, man, this has got to be where she is staying. This has got to be her front door, you know? The room falls silent. Edgar and Glory exchange glances. After a moment, Dietrich continues. That's like, you know, playing a video game and literally stumbling into the final boss's room at the very first beginning of the game. It's like, whoops, I'll be back at the end of the game. Wait for me. Don't come out, please. You know. Just think about it. Decker that Winters got those coordinates from was posting about Volschwing. And then he was killed, or she was killed by the same orcish bastard that attacked us after Monica died.
There's a direct link between the dragon and the sacred oak in Huddleford Manor.
I was meant to say scarred orc, but it came out sacred oak for some reason. Sacred oak, scarred orc. You know? Anyway. And then there's Winters. He was killed by something, the same thing that killed Monica. Exactly! My gut tells me the dragon is down there. Iron Tree. Someplace far beneath the surface. I think that we knocked on the door of her lair without even knowing it. I think that, given what we've seen, the dragon will be whatever it takes to keep us quiet about it. Yeah, you don't ring the front door of a dragon and yell, Girl Scout cookies! And expect, you know, not to be eaten with the cookies. Okay, going on the assumption that there is a dragon, and that she will come after us, what do you propose that we do about it? First, find out exactly what she's paying everybody, and see if you can't outbid them. Tell you what's going on, Fall, Winter's advice. Right, just kicking the door at early game with early game weapons and kill the dragon. We couldn't even kill the minigun guy. We'll go with this one. Yes, Iron Street's right. Finding Van Cleer should be our priority. Going up against a dragon, we'll need to find ourselves a dragon slayer. Well, you know he's not around anymore. I mean, it's been, what, 20 years? He already looked like he was in his 30s to 40s, so he's an old man no matter what you cut it as. And on top of that, you know, no one's seen him. You think he's pulling a Fallout and he's laying down in a protective vault inside the radiation zone for 20 years, and he's, you know, fighting ready to fight a dragon? I'm not sure what he did to drop the dragon, but apparently he took it down. Not good enough, though. It's still alive. I still wonder if he's a necromancer and he resurrected the dragon himself. Winter spent 20 years searching for Van Cleer, and that got him nowhere. How do you propose we find him? With the help of an information broker. So, am I going back to the guy at the soy cafe? I'll go talk to, yeah, Alting about it. Okay. For this? No. While Herr Balsquist is very capable, this task is a magnitude beyond him. We need to make contact with a premier information broker in Berlin. We need to talk to Alice. I haven't met this person yet. Bliss scoffs at Asmiel. Alice, best of luck to you, and I hope you got her rich. As will raise an eyebrow. For this, rich enough, even if it's only just. Who is this Alice? The most prominent figure in Berlin's shadow community. A Schockwingier, German word. She provides information retrieval services for the F-State. Aswell turns the computer console behind him and runs his fingers over a virtual keyboard. The machine begins to hum. If Winter was right, if Van Cleer is still alive, she can help us find him. The console splits out a stack of blank plastic. A stick, not a stack. Jeez. Dyslexia's on point today. Aswell puts up the computer and hands it to you. Here's your key to speak to Alice. A cred disc. Money. Aswell nods. An enclosed cred disc said yes. 10,000 nuyen. Alice will not show her face for less. I'm not sure what the USD to 10,000 nuyen is, but I'm guessing it's probably still a lot. This ain't Japanese yen here. This represents the last of my potential savings. Iron Tree, make this meeting count. Oh, you're putting your life savings on the line for us? That must be a lot of money. Oof. Where are you going to go to that nuyen just to talk to her? Aswell nods. Her standard fee. Alice is in a position to ask if we are in no position to argue. So in other words, if the information's out there, she will get it. She will absolutely get it. So that means the price is non-negotiable. Just like I said, why didn't anyone listen to me? Where do you need to go? Or where do I need to go? Take the U-Bahn to the Allstate Sand Shrew. I just make up words sometimes and I can't figure out what it is. There you'll find the connecting tube, and the locals refer to it as the rabbit hole. You'll find the method for contacting Alice there. Don't call it that in front of her, though. Or, don't call it that in front of her, though. Word on the street is Alice hates it. Alice in the Rabbit Hole. Alice in Wonderland reference. I get it now. I get it, game. It took me a second. I didn't quite get it. Please hurry. While you're out, I'll be working on acquiring new contacts for the team. Alice is the best at what she does, and her services carry a price tag to match. Exactly as I said earlier. Okay. Well, no need to do that. Hey, game saved. Well, it's nice to know if it crashes, it's saved already. Alright. We'll take this one. Huzzah. Arcade machine, okay. The only active console in the derelict span of the U-band platform is an old video arcade machine. The crit monitor set into the machine's cabinet glows invitingly. Cheerful, pixelated graphics swirl and dance on the screen. It's Tron. Investigate the machine. At the base of the controller panel, you find a clearly hidden input port. The port is shrouded in black plastic and appears to be an approximate shape of a typical cred disc. Go figure. Asmo's encoded disc, yes. The internal motor's grip on the cred disc to pull it into the machine. I guess kind of like a paper money taking at a vending machine, I guess. This appears into the port, and the screen goes black. Moments later, a video image fills the screen, and the picture of a dark, grainy, a far cry from a bright, colorful sprites that previously inhabited the display. On the screen is a dimly lit office. The place looks like it was pulled straight from an old detective movie. Ah, you see? She walked in my office, all legs. You know, one of those kind of noir kind of deals. Okay, let's see, shadow panel, yeah. Center stage, sitting behind a large mahogany desk, sits a silhouette of an impressive-looking woman. A charcoal gray suit and the tip of a cigarette glows cherry red in the shadows. Classic detective style, I'm picturing too, just lean back like, I'm assuming Alice is a female, it's like, you walked into my office, huh? What's the problem? Kind of thing. So you forward into the light and you catch your first glimpse of Alice. I pictured something a lot more impressive and a lot more noir. That's more cyberpunk, but it's whatever the game artist went for, I guess. Her face is hard, planes and sculpted. Seriously though, I guess that's not hair. I guess it's like hair extensions that are like neon glowing, because, yeah. Sculpted angles with the high cheekbones and almond eyes. Her lips are painted a frigid blue. The look in her eyes is even colder. Hard and lustrous black hair, and interspaced with the flowing streams of cyan lights. Alice exhales a plume of smoke and then the tips her cigarette into a nearby ashtray. She fixes her eyes on you and her lips curl into a harmonious smile. Tell me, what are you looking for? You need to find someone named Dr. Adrian Van Clear. She raises an eyebrow. The Dragon Slayer. Interesting. He's been missing for a long time. I'm surprised you recognize the name. Let's see. He was... Yes, he has. Question, can you find him? The third one's just stupid. You can't call ahead because this is the only place to contact her, you know? It's just stupid. Trivia is a passion of mine. She taps her painted fingernail on her temple. In my line of work, it comes in handy. Oh, decking 4, I don't have that. Speaking of trivia, Alice, I think that I might know who you really are? No, but that would be nice if I could. Alice steeples her fingers. All right, here now, this long is going to earn. All right, here's how it's going to work, is what I meant to say. When you give me the go-ahead, I'll start gathering information for you. Once I finish, you're going to bring me a cred disk encoded with an encryption key that I'll provide you. The cred disk will have 50,000 union. We paid 10,000 just to talk to her. That's an extra 40,000, and that was the man's life savings. So I'm not sure how long this is going to take. Must be in-game stuff. When I get my cred disk, you'll have your information. That's the deal. Take it or leave it. Waxiashi or Neo Anarchist, you're better awful old world prophets here. Apparently I know better than you do, sport. Do you know how much work it's going to be to find digital ghosts? There's going to be wet work, breaking into government archives. Hell, I might even have to commission an expedition into the socks. This is a serious undertaking, friend. That's a good point, because the last place he saw was inside this quarantine zone of some kind. So, I mean, she's probably going to pay somebody to take a risk and go in there, so it will cost a lot of money. Now, do we have a deal or don't we? All right, Alice, it's a deal. Okay, but remember, when you say go, I will go. From that point on, you're on the hook to pay me a fee. No turning back, no refunds. Are we square on this? Don't have a choice, do we? Hell with it. Yeah, we're square. Good. I'll be in touch. I guess she's the kind of person who can find you. You can't find her, but she will find you. Screen goes black. Moments later, the machine reboots the colorful sprites that you saw when the first approach to the arcade cabinet. There's nothing more to be seen here. Alice is gone. Back down the rabbit hole. Dante the doggy is still with us. I didn't even realize the dog was still traveling with us. I knew the robot was with us, and the dog was with us. Alright. Well, we're just about done with time, so I'll see what we can do here in just a minute, and then we'll end the episode. Can I give her some more money? She's dancing so nice. Watch her turn out to be a killer or something that I've just been handing money to. It's like, your day will die soon. Here's a coin! Yeah. Oh, man. Who's this down here? I don't remember your image. Can't talk to you yet. The name sounds familiar. Who were you? Are you the girl we rescued? No, you're not. Oh, this is the girl who works for the coffee shop. She tips an invisible hat. Hey there. Remember me from the cafe? The name is Kami. It has nothing to do with Street Fighter. Are you looking for something? Well, who are you, for one thing? None of my business. Depends on... Okay, we'll go with this. I'm Alting's ears. He hands outside the cafe. Call me Kami. I wear a couple hats, a barista, a gopher. I keep my eyes and ears open. Let's just say I get on by trading stories. So who can I count on to, when you hear something's going on? Like I said, I only got only if you got something juicy for me, or if Alting wants me to tell you something. That's rare. I may be his eyes and ears and hands, but he's got enough of a voice all by himself. He doesn't seem to be afraid to use it either. Not in the slightest. Since you've just moved here, I have some advice. You haven't guessed already. He's got fingers in a lot of pies, I mean. I've seen what happens when he doesn't approve of someone or something. Pissing off can be worth it. Can't be worth it, I mean. And that's the very least if you want to be able to get good coffee in this town. Again, she grins cheekily. What's the story between you and Octon? She grins and winks laxiously. Darn words at you. Okay, surely you've guessed. That lucky bastard. She cuffs loudly. You wish. If you were really curious, though, I'll tell you about it for some time. Right now, though, I have some errands to run. Come over sometime and you can chat over a hookah or something. Yeah? She lazily tips her invisible hat at you before turning her focus on the comm at her wrist. She's fun. I like her. Hey, is that drone ready yet? Well. Let's see. So we got. I didn't even take a look in this thing. Let's see. Weapon upgrade. Robo Doc, Doberman, which is what we have right now. Smoker. Well, that sounds like a useless robot unless it's got a better gun than the current one. I'll probably look that up. I'll figure out what these actual drones can do and see whether or not they're actually worth the money. So I think this is the one that we found and had her work on, but she said it's not ready yet, so I don't know. Unless I gotta buy it back, you know? That'd suck. Anyway, time's up, so thank everybody for stopping by and joining. If you like it, hit that like, subscribe for future content. If you like it, drop a comment below your thoughts and opinions of this and other things. And while you're at it, let me know what you think of the game so far. Do you want to see continuation of this, or, you know, maybe points and tips and advice would be nice too. Likewise, if you haven't done so already, hit that bell icon for future notifications. And if you feel like it, you know, I already said that. Well, I'm obviously tongue-tied and sleepy, I guess. But anyway, thank you, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.